Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 2 of this best-of-3 series between Team Liquid and Team Empire, the Losers Bracket Finals. LD, Team Liquid 1 game away from elimination. USA?
Yeah, they took down
USA?
Empire 2-1, but that was starting with a 1-0 advantage. They took the first game in the last series, I should say. So now they're up against the ropes. They've lost 3 games in a row today, and Empire is 5-0 in their last 5 games. 2-0 against Speed, twice yesterday, and then 1-0 so far against Liquid.
They're on fire?
Yeah, they're winning in a variety of ways, too. We're seeing a lot of different picks from them, a variety of strategies. We've seen a lot of Invoker, a lot of Dazzle, a lot of Clock from this team, but they are capable of running other heroes. We've seen Storm, Doom. I feel like Liquid's hero pool, they've shown a bunch of different picks, but those different picks aren't really working. So can Liquid win with different strategies? We're going to have to find out.
Empire just feel tight. They have crisp execution. They seem to be on the same page. When they want to push, they push. When they want to team fight, they team fight. And Liquid, it seems to be some sort of a communication issue. Some people pushing, some backing, some farming. They need to tighten up a little bit.
Yeah. Bolt the hatches down. Let's go. Come on.
Bolt the hatches.
I believe in, or batten down the hatches, I guess it is, but I believe in Liquid. I think if they just have a better start, they can win this game.
I agree. Let's take a look at this draft as it is well underway. Team Liquid going to start off with familiar bans here. Doom as well as Visage going to be taken out of the pool. Empire will actually ban the Invoker this time as well as that Elder Titan. And here we go. A Luna and Clockwork. 2 heroes that Empire have run to a great degree of success.
Yeah, have to ban Doom against Empire. That's a given after the past few days. I do like Liquid's bans so far. Visage, they're just banning the highest impact heroes they've had lately. We saw a really good Visage from, was it Always Wanna Fly? I think it was Always Wanna Fly the other day. Obviously the Doom. And Dazzle has been probably Vankscore's best support. We saw teams ban Silencer against this team, but it seems like right now Dazzle is a lot stronger for the kinds of trend draft they're running.
Yeah.
Empire's actually going to draft Luna, so I'm curious to see, can they run it better than Liquid? Because, to be honest, I have felt like the Luna hasn't done anything. When Liquid run it, they barely even take towers. They're at best even with Empire in terms of towers. Rarely ever, or any team, rarely ever ahead. And when you run like Luna, Enchantress, Shadow Shaman, you should have the tower advantage. So, can Empire capitalize on that? We'll find out.
Vanscore's done so well with that Dazzle because of his positioning, I think. He's been spot on with being there for shallow graves and making sure he doesn't get picked off first in fights so that he can get off those core abilities. And more than once, we've seen Dazzle turn the tides of a fight based on a good shallow grave. So, alas, he will be off the pool this time, and we'll see what Vanscore plays. Could be a Silencer game, like you were mentioning.
Yeah, Silencer's good when they do it more when they run Storm, so they can just zip in, get a kill. The enemy team can't save that hero, and then you jump out or TP away.
Yeah,
but Silencer can be good. I think it's more of a niche support for them, but just something that's just the point. I guess my point is just they have so many different heroes they can play.
Yeah.
Whereas it feels like Liquid have tried different heroes, but usually not having much success.
And Ursa will be banned out, a hero that Liquid has used a little bit to a varying degree of success. We saw a successful Ursa game, but we've mentioned a couple times now, that was a game where pretty one-sided anyhow. Ursa wasn't what's the word I'm looking for, the driving force that made it happen.
He didn't carry them on his back.
Yes.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear, but Fuzzy Wuzzy was not a Mack truck stuffing the team into the rear compartment.
Yeah.
So Liquid banning another strong support who has been less popular lately. We saw even when this tournament started, Veno was way more popular.
Yeah.
Remember, Empire was running. They were running Veno, Ancient Apparition. They even picked both of them in the first phase, 1 or 2 games. I think.
Yeah.
And now Veno has been ignored in some games, banned in the second stage in others, and almost never banned or picked in the first stage. But just a good all-around support. It seems like they're really tired of Empire getting good support heroes, but there's still stuff like Rubik left in the pool. Also good against Clock, so maybe something Liquid want to remove.
Yeah.
As for Liquid's draft, my main question is what kind of a Nyx is it? Is it a support Nyx? Is it an offlane Nyx? Is it a solo mid? Because he can go anywhere. Although his offlane has had mixed results.
I'm almost surprised to see them second picking Enchantress once again. They've been playing Enchantress a lot. We mentioned Fluff always in the jungle, but it just hasn't been working. I feel like 1 game away from elimination. Is this a time to try something different and break from the norm, or just stick to what you know and try and tighten up a little bit?
Generally, you see teams look to develop new strategies in scrims first and then apply them in matches, but there's a lot of officials coming up. You have the ISO Cup, which just happened, this tournament. MLG's TKO event. I'm sure new seasons of Star Ladder, D2L, EMS, Dream League not far off on the horizon. So there's so many matches that I feel like, you know, maybe not in this game where it's an elimination match, but I would have liked to see them experiment at some point along the way. They kind of did with the Slark Storm in the previous series, but it was very ineffective. So they'll stick with what they know.
Shadow Shaman again.
They've been running it as a support, so I imagine offlane Nyx for Koikfa, Shadow Shaman support, and Enchantress support. But if they want to change things up, they could run a mid. They could run Nyx as a support. They could run Nyx as a solo mid. So, I mean, Liquid have a lot of options. It's just the way they've been doing it. Support Shadow Shaman, and offlane Nyx is most likely.
And there's that Ancient Apparition we've been talking so much about. Empire, the team that have been running him the most, and this will be yet another game. Hopefully they grab another support with some sort of lockdown. They are lacking control a little bit right now, which is one downside to Ancient Apparition. A very powerful hero in some regards, but doesn't provide much in the way of crowd controls. I feel like throughout this tournament, Clockwork has been the big playmaker. More often than not, I feel like we've seen games where it's pretty even in carries, pretty evens in mids, but the offlaners are where that big disparity comes, and Clockwork seems to be consistently making plays versus some of the other offlaners.
That's the one thing about Liquid, which I've mentioned before, but I guess that's a good way to another way to look at it or phrase it is they don't seem to prioritize the offlane at all. Like, a lot of teams are picking Clockwork in the first phase, and he seems to be the strongest offlaner right now. We've seen teams like Speed Gaming will pick up, you know, the Puck or Mirana if they want to run it offlane fairly early. Generally, it's the Puck for what's his face, Bone 7. But Liquid are just content to like take whatever's left in the last phase. Now, maybe the Nyx is their offlaner this game, but you know, they had first pick, and if you're gonna first pick an offlaner, to me, it's got to be Clock. I have not seen a stronger offlaner in this patch.
Yeah, and I think there's some empirical data to back that up. He's just a strong hero, no way about it.
I was getting ready for the empirical data, but
empirical data.
But you're like, I'm sure there's empirical data.
Sure, there's
but
empirical data.
I have none.
I haven't any, but I'm sure there is some. Well, maybe more anecdotal evidence, but throughout this tournament, has certainly been the case
in this event. One of the highest impact heroes in this tournament for sure, along with Invoker, Doom, maybe. I think Invoker, Doom, and Clockwork have kind of been the three most, and Shadow Shaman, or Shadow Priest or Dazzle. Those have been the four heroes that I think have done the most work this tournament.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assertion. Shadow Demon, the second support for Empire. How do you like the Shadow Demon Ancient Apparition duo? I don't know that we've seen that duo in particular in the same game from Empire.
It's pretty good. You can just Cold Feet Disrupt and pretty much guarantee the Cold Feet goes off. And it's really good with Luna as well, because you can just disrupt her, and it's like a free Manta style, so she can either skip Manta and just go Butterfly, which is probably better against Gyro since he's got a lot of AoE to kill illusions, or if you want, you can get Manta and have 5 Lunas, including the main hero. So
that's a lot of Luna.
Yeah, that's a lot of Luna. Nova. So yeah, either way.
We'll see what Empire want to do with their mid-hero. Could possibly be a Storm pick. Not the best against the Shadow Shaman. They do have a fair bit of stun to deal with him, but
both teams ban solo mids. The back could go offlane.
There you go. There's that Storm.
They do. Liquid have a pretty decent lineup for dealing with Storm, though, I will say.
Yeah.
Carapace is good, Mana Burn's good, Impale's good, and especially Shadow Shaman Hex is pretty good. And now they get another good stun for dealing with him. So this game, sure, Storm Resolution's been magnificent on Storm in the past, but he's had better hero matchups than this game. This game, he will have his work cut out for him.
Certainly. And what's happened to Weaver, LD? We have seen so little Weaver throughout this tournament. Where did he go?
He just needs a lot more farm than other heroes to have an impact. So, I mean, even if he's hard to kill, Storm has way more burst damage and killing potential. Weaver has to dive for a while, and teams are very quick to react with TPs. We've seen a lot of global heroes who can punish tower dives. And he just doesn't do as much with farm as like a Luna or a Gyro. So I think Weaver does a lot better in games where there's a longer laning stage where the lanes take longer to break down. But the lanes seem to break down like by even sometimes as early as like the 6 or 7 minute mark in this particular patch. So Weaver just very far independent, doesn't do as much with it as other heroes right now.
All right.
But he's still viable in some drafts. He's not an awful hero. He's just not a clear like top carry pick.
Yeah. So again, to reiterate, our little overlay here on the top is not correct. This is Game 2. Liquid is down 1 game. This is not Game 1, as that would have you indicate Cough, cough, LD.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, Empire leading 1-0 in the best of 3. If they win this, they move on to play Sad Boys in the grand finals, which will be best of 5. We are still waiting to find out if there's a winner bracket advantage.
Yes. And, well, all these teams are in the money at least. There is a prize down to 3rd place, if I'm not mistaken. So at least these teams will not walk away empty-handed, but one of them will be slated to take 3rd after this series commences.
So in Game 2 of Empire versus Liquid the last time, they died to a level 1 smoke gank. Empire's not actually smoke ganking, but they are making another aggressive move. They love taking over the enemy jungle at level 1.
Yeah.
And it's really what you want to do against an Enchantress. You don't have to kill her. You don't have to block her camps. You just want to get a ward or 2 down so you see where she's moving. And if you block the camps, then they pretty much have an idea of where your wards are and can de-ward. But if you just have a ward in the woods, spotting their movements, the only way they're going to know is like if they smoke and it doesn't work. And then they're like, okay, well, we clearly got spotted smoking. So
right.
I think these wards are more effective. Teams are very good at de-warding camps nowadays. So we used to see a lot more camp blocking, but I think just spotting the enemy jungler's movements is the way to go.
Yeah. And on the high ground is always a good place to put those wards for additional vision, but that tends to be an area where someone will smoke up. And
this poor Shadow Shaman.
An invisibility rune will be sniped by Vanscore as he uses that early disruption. Way too not off to a good start here. Let's introduce these rosters, though, as it seems these lanes have settled down. Liquid will be on the Radiant side for Game 2. TC playing on the hard-farming Gyrocopter down here on the bottom. He'll be supported by Way2 on the Shadow Shaman. Fluffin' Stuff will be on the Enchantress, spronking around in the jungle on the Radiant side of the map. Bulba solo mid on the Dragon Knight, and Koikba in the hard lane playing on Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the side of Team Empire, offlaner will be the Clock, who's been the go-to offlaner. By the way, Vanscore with the Invis rune is looking for a courier snipe very early, and he might get it.
Vanscore?
No, they know. What? That's really good game sense, because they know he has an Invis rune. Generally, we don't see many early ganks on the courier anymore, but that was a nice attempt from Vanscore as well. It's like, checking if the enemy team's awake and fully alert, and Liquid are.
Good game sense. So, in the mid lane here, we do have Silent on Luna, joined by Vanscore on the Shadow Demon, so it is actually a dual lane mid, which means up top it will be Resolution on the hard farming Storm, and Always Want to Fly in the jungle at the moment on Ancient Apparition, also supporting the top lane. So an interesting rotation from Empire, switching it up a little bit, putting Resolution in the safe lane.
And already Fluff on the move. He's been going for later smoke timings, but this time around it is very aggressive and very quick.
Yeah.
And they don't know it's coming.
Oh, Silent and Vanscore will be in some trouble. Silent will take the path north, and
he doesn't have the Dragon Tail yet. They went before he hit level 3. Oh no.
This is going to be a failed gank. No way about it. The Satyr will die to the wrath of time, and they both survive. Liquid.
If you want to smoke gank that early, you need to take a point in Dragon Tail, and the fact that he didn't have it, they should not have bothered.
Again, the communication just doesn't seem to be there. That should be something.
Like if he's just left alone, then obviously Dragon's Blood is better because he's up against the dual lane and he's going to be harassed a lot. But since they were planning to gank very early, he should have either reserved a skill point or just taken the stun. And if he had already taken it, Fluff should not have smoked. But he's just going to buy another. And I mean, to be honest, it still could work as long as he doesn't smoke under this Observer Ward. That's where he gets into trouble.
Yeah. That's absolutely right. So, a small victory for Empire as they avoid death, and Luna does survive, so that is good news. It was a smart play for Empire as well as they split directions. We saw Silent go up this way, and then we saw Vanscore go back this way, so they forced Liquid to make that executive decision. Who do we focus? And it probably bought them at least a second or two of valuable time, and did help the survival.
Yeah. So, looking at the two safe lanes, Storm's getting free farm and Gyro's getting free farm. Free farm Storm, I mentioned they have a lot of ways to deal with him, so I don't think it's as big of a deal as it was in the other game. They aren't stacking Ancients yet, but we may see Fluff look to do that in the mid game quite a bit. So I just think Liquid's draft is very well balanced. They can take this late. They've got tons of lockdown for the enemy carry. They've got a good farming lineup. They've got a lot of stuns. They can push pretty early, and they're running support Shadow Shaman Enchantress, which is a fairly greedy duo. And so far, they're getting their levels. Fluff is going to go for yet another gank. He's smoking again. Yep. And this time, I think he's going back mid as they go on Bulba mid, who's taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, he does have a double damage rune on that he bottled up at the 2-minute mark, but not able to do too much with it. Silent and Vanscore showing how much damage they can put out if it's just a 2v1 scenario.
He's going top instead. Is there going to be an impale from Koikfa? This could be first blood. I think Always Wanna Fly is dead. Maybe it's Koikfa first.
Oh, Koikfa gets caught in the vortex. There's the spike carapace. Cold Feet does connect. Who's going to get the first blood? It will be, well, the Radiant. But still, a nice
and they get the double kill in the
2 for
end.
nil.
Really nice. Way too TP'd in as well.
Yeah.
And it looked really bad. Koikfa, though, just managed to get off Carapace, and then after the Cold Feet, the 2-hero impale, I thought he was only going to hit one, but he just kind of split the uprights, impaled right between the 2 heroes, and it was just enough of an AoE to clip them both, so
yeah.
Great gank, and even better rotation for Wave 2.
So now Liquid will gain some momentum.
That's more like it, Liquid.
Yeah, there you go. Some momentum in the early game. All of a sudden, 1,000 gold lead, about a 2,000 experience lead as well following those successful kills. Vanscore does have an invisibility rune on, scouting out fluff and stuff. Possibly looking to set up an initiation, as Always Wanna Fly. Uses a wraparound. And I don't know that they'll be able to find the initiation they're looking for.
They can disrupt into Cold Feet, but they didn't Cold Feet first. But they surround him. Warcraft 3 surround.
And Fluff will get the attendance off. It won't be enough to keep him alive. Ancient Apparition using that chilling touch.
Yeah, he's maxing it, and that's a lot of right-click damage. 120 between the 2 of them per volley of auto attacks.
Yeah, for a max of 4,
that's
it really does add a lot.
A free relic for each hero. Not too shabby.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
It does slow your attack speed a bit, but still definitely worth it.
Still a pretty big DPS boost, no doubt about that.
Yeah, now the main thing is you do need to build a right-click, and oftentimes Ancient Apparition is running for his life, not right-clicking. But
yeah.
Still, it helps his team quite a bit.
So we're already seeing a disparity in farm where, although Liquid have the advantage in both team gold and experience, Empire have the farm where it counts. Both Luna as well as Storm Spirit are topping the net worth charts. It's the supports where Liquid are really starting to shine. They have a level advantage and a farm advantage on that front, as Ancient Apparition only level 3 right now. So, not too bad for Empire, though it appears that they're starting to fall behind a little bit. They've got it where it counts.
Smoke number 3 from Fluff, and this Luna is level 6 but has no mana because she's greedily rushing a Midas, and if Bulba just stuns her, she's dead.
Oh, even in tower range for some added damage. There's the net from the Dark Troll Summoner, and Liquid will add another to the board. That makes it 3-1 here as we pass the 6-minute mark.
Dominator's pretty greedy, but Midas is ultra greedy on Luna, and especially sticking around without his supports in lane. Well, that's what Liquid need to do. If Empire want to play greedy, they need to punish it. Unfortunately, I guess that's their last smoke for now. They used all 3. They're going to have to wait a little while, but I would say a very successful set of rotations from Liquid. The double kill top, the first blood, the kill mid on Luna before she finishes Midas. That is a very good start to the laning stage. Now the key is just sit back, farm, and then start taking fights selectively with your key levels. The Vendetta, the level 6 Shadow Shaman wards, Gyro's ult, which he now has. They don't have to force things constantly.
And it looks like Empire did waste their glyph there by accident. I saw it go off, and none of their towers were being pressured, so I have to imagine it was a small misplay. Probably won't be too big of a deal, but if Liquid opt to push in the next 4 minutes or so, well, could have a small advantage. Probably not the biggest of deals.
Yeah, Enchantress just picked up Urn, so Fluff is pretty damn farm, considering he's bought himself 3 smokes at this point.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit of gold. He's doing really well. For Empire, the key thing for them is getting level 6 on Ancient Apparition and then trying to find pickoffs with Storm and Clockwork. They can't really I don't think they can sit back and farm when they've gone so greedy on their Luna, because if they do that, then there's just going to be pressure before Luna can really fight. She won't have Treads or Treads BKB, the key teamfight items for some time, so they need to create space for Silent with those other gankers. So get level 6 on Ancient Apparition and set up some kills with the globals.
Yeah, and that's where that early game victory comes for Liquid, is that their supports do have a much larger level advantage. Shadow Shaman as well as Ancient Apparition still only level 4, so it's going to be a little while until we see that Ice Blast come into existence. Double damage rune here at the 8-minute mark will spawn in the top position. Vanscore scouts it out, and Resolution will come down to fill up his bottle. Does appear he is going for a fast Orchid as well. Robe of the Magi already in the inventory. And there's the Midas up on Luna here, right around the 8-minute mark. Not the fastest Midas, but pretty timely nonetheless.
Yeah, the one nice thing about Midas on Luna when you dual lane mid, which he was for a decent... he had some support mid for much of the game, is helps make up for the levels, because obviously dual lane mid, you're getting less experience. So
Right.
that is one good thing about it the Dominator doesn't offer you, and he's going to hit level 7 off of his first creep, so now's Eclipse is pretty scary. But my eyes are really on the Storm. What's he going to do with this DD rune?
Yeah. He has it in the bottle, so he'll have that luxury of using it at the ideal time, but Luna actually going to buy a smoke, which is rather interesting. So Silent, perhaps, looking to be aggressive.
Did he actually bought one?
Yeah, he actually bought it. It's on the courier, owned by Silent.
Interesting.
Very weird.
Good catch. I totally missed that.
Yeah.
Top lane, there's a dive.
Oh, Van Score, my friend, you are in big trouble. That's the power of Vendetta. Fluff going to walk away with an extra kill under his belt.
They just smoked, and they're heading bottom, it looks like.
Yeah, they are going to meet up and rendezvous with Resolution. That double damage still in the bottle. And Way 2 will actually pour it out before the engage commences.
That's really bad for this bottom lane.
Oh, a solo gyrocopter, and he comes on the other side of the trees. Did he actually scout that out?
Yeah, it's daytime, so he's seen them.
So now if they can just find TC, they know he's back in the trees. The long-range zip, they'll catch him. TC in big trouble. No ports coming in. They'll cut their losses, let the gyrocopter fall, and opt to push instead. They grab the tier 1 in the top lane, and they also drop wards of the tier 1 in the mid lane. I don't know they'll be able to secure this tower kill, but gyrocopter for a tower at the 10-minute mark, kind of a shaky exchange.
Yeah, I would favor Liquid a little bit, but also they're doing a lot of damage to the tower mid, like you were mentioning, which will end up giving Vangscore some gold, but
actually more damage than I had thought. Shadow Demon not well suited to deal with these wards.
Empire's dropped. They lost a lot of HP from that fight, which means they probably can't defend mid, and that means Liquid are going to get 2 towers for one. So, and the death of their carry, but still a huge win. And now they're going on mid.
Yeah, they'll probably get a free kill on Vangscore as well. A nice disruption, but the Impale is there as he pops back out. One impetus to finish him off. Fluff once again going to pick up that kill. Now Liquid will be on the back foot. Elder Dragon form is also on cooldown, though there is a haste rune on the Dragon Knight, and he'll be just fine. So Empire, I think, with the right idea, unfortunately, had to commit a little bit too hard to finish off TC, and it ends up being a poor 1-for-2 tower exchange.
Yeah, overall, Liquid's done, obviously, really well through the laning stage. Finally, a good start for them. They've struggled to find one over the past few games.
Yeah.
But now the big question is, can they continue to push the advantage? As far as what they're waiting for, I think the main things are Blink on Nyx, which he almost has, and the BKB on Gyro. And once they have that, they can force fights. Remember, Luna went Midas, only now picks up Treads, has died... How many times? It was once or twice? It was once.
Once.
Silent hasn't died that much, but he's also been going to base a lot, has had to regen quite a bit, because he doesn't have a Dominator or Mask of Death, so he's... Oh, so Smoke Gank mid, hold that thought.
Yeah, always when a fly will get converged on. Nyx coming around the backside, initiates with the Impale. Plenty of follow-up damage from the Breathe Fire, and once again, Fluff will pick up that last hit. Enchantress now 3-1-3, which will put them very close to that mech, just about 200 gold off the recipe.
They have the wards. They can take this, at least force this tower. Ancient Apparition dead, that means no Ice Blast to defend it, and Luna is off on an island, split pushing bottom lane. There's no Gyro here either, though. Empire might be able to punish that. Are they going to defend? There's a hook shot coming from the backside. This could be bad without the mech yet up on Enchantress and without the Gyro.
Looks like they will grab themselves the tower kill. Ward's still alive for about half duration. Mag will catch Fluff inside the wards. Nature's Attendants come out. The defensive disruption, stacking up some of that poison. Fluff still not out of the clear yet. That battery assault doing a lot of damage. They will secure the kill on the Enchantress. A small bit of bonus gold.
Top lane Resolution has a DD rune. If he kills TC, this is huge.
And the setup, it's already activated. TC doesn't see it coming.
He needs to damage him a little bit before he pulls him so TC can't TP out, and he's trying to.
And there's the call down. Nice zip work. And TC will be in big trouble. The, yeah, doesn't even need the Vortex. Wow. Well done by Resolution.
Oh,
picks up a solo kill.
Nyx just couldn't react in time. Was pretty low on mana overall. Big kill. But this could be bigger.
On his way. Resolution doesn't have much left for Zip. Will juke it. Oh, boy. Now he's totally out of mana, though. If Impale connects, there's the Hex. He does buy himself enough time for support to be inbound. And now Way 2 on the back foot. Could be in some trouble. Storm, of course, doesn't have enough mana to zip forward. Won't be able to catch him. They will survive. So ends up just being a 1-for-0. A very valuable kill for Empire.
Yeah, and Resolution was very good with his mana usage there. We saw in the last series that TC's mana usage was not really the best. He often was out of mana and chased down just after 1 or 2 zips, but dropped a lot of remnants, only used the zip to dodge stuns and when he needed to chase, and actually didn't even use Electric Vortex to get that kill. So,
yeah.
Very well done. And that's what they need. They need a little space created by the Storm and the Clock. They can't just have the Storm AFK farming, and Empire just smoked under a Liquid Ward. And they know now, but, well, at least they Sentry'd, or that would have been a very bad smoke.
Yeah.
They're still going. Are they really going on mid? They know they were spotted. Meh, we'll see.
They're thinking about it. They just need to make space for Luna. Silent's still very squishy. Hand of Midas into Treads into Morbid Mask. So not a lot of stats, not a lot of damage either. Though he is level 9, so of course Eclipse is online. So could possibly find a small engage, but really Silent just needs to sit back and farm and let that Midas kick in.
Yeah, whereas Liquid want to fight right now. Blink up on Koikfa. Wards are online again. Bulba's got the Ogre Club. They're tanking up on their carries, even though they don't have BKBs yet. Mid's not really the best lane to push, obviously, because they took the tier 2, but they may just take over the enemy jungle. But this is where Empire just play a little speed gaming Dota, you know?
Yep.
Spread the map, farm the enemy jungle, split push, and just dodge Liquid.
Yeah. And it looks like they'll be successful on that front. The total tower count right now is 3-1 in favor of Liquid. It appears they could be grouping up to pressure the top tier 2 tower. They already took out the tier 2 mid, which is a great first tier 2 to end, as it is a central access point. Will make defending Roche possibly a little bit more difficult, though they still have the tier 1 and tier 2 in the bottom lane if Liquid want to try and move into the pit and utilize those Rosta wards.
I just want to point out while we have a moment here, although, no, I guess we don't have a moment.
Oh, yeah, Koikba going in. They'll engage on Resolution. Can they finish him off before the zip? And they can. Hex will keep him crowd controlled, and that's a free kill. Going the way of Liquid, though, the rest of Empire are pressuring this bottom tier 2 very hard, and will be able to finish it off if Liquid don't react.
Pretty big kill because Storm was fairly close to his Orchid, but just look at the Nyx tax, or tax. Jesus, I can't speak either today. The Nyx tax. God damn it, my English.
I'm not even sure what word you're trying to say here.
TIX.
TIX?
Yeah.
Like taxes? Okay.
He puts a tax on supports, right? Because you have to buy tons of sentries, put them all over the place. They've probably bought, like, I mean, even when they're split pushing, they've got to buy a sentry there too, so it really costs them. Oh boy.
Death and taxes.
Oh boy,
oh boy. So
when did English get so hard, man? It should get easier after all this casting.
Yeah.
Been casting for like what, 3 years now, and
I haven't been keeping track.
2 years. Well, I don't know. I can't. Math is harder now. English is harder now. Casting makes everything harder.
I think that's just getting old, LD.
Oh boy.
So the bottom tier 2 did fall in favor of Empire. They basically traded their top for the bottom. Not a bad trade for Empire. Still 4-2 in total tower count. They did smoke into the enemy jungle, and it looks like they could be trying to find and engage on Liquid. The hook shot will be on the mark. Connects with Way 2. Hex comes out straight away. Koikva is inbound. Mag will hook shot to his death. That's it. The follow-up isn't there for Empire, and Liquid do have all of their troops inbound.
There was an Ancient Apparition ult in the region, but did not connect where the hook shot was, and even if it did, that was a pretty bold dive, and they're not done chasing yet. They find Vank score. Big impale from Koikva, but no backup.
Yeah. All right.
So not so big.
Yeah, not so big. Still a nice impale, but they don't secure the kill. Silent stacking some Ancients here, looking to further his farm. Will secure the stack. Gonna get some dragons. And meanwhile, up top, Resolution and Always Want to Fly will pressure this top tier 1.
Silent, he has not finished farming his Ancients, and he's been the stack has been scouted. He was scouted, but Liquid seem very contentious to take the tower instead. They'll probably take the Ancients next if they can.
Large Apparition ult will connect with Way 2, as well as TC. Tier 1 in the bottom will fall, as will the tier 1 in the top, so more tower exchanging coming on.
Resolution gets the last hit on the tower and does TC, but already TC had his BKB. Now Resolution's close to his. Orchid is coming very soon. Still good on the backline supports, especially, I would say Shadow Shaman Nyx here too. Ideal targets. Fluff's quite a bit tankier. But everyone on Liquid is fairly durable, especially the carries, so not going to be easy to find kills when... And Storm is just not effective against 5-man Dota in general, so they got to keep on split pushing, but Liquid is starting to close the noose around their neck.
Yep. Bottom tier 2 tower falls. That's the end of the outer towers for Empire. Meanwhile, Luna takes the tier 1 in the mid, and the rest of the troops up top. Resolution Always Want to Fly will just take out this tier 2 tower. With that, Liquid will move straight into the Roche pit. Here the wards come down. There's the mech. They don't have the most damage onto Roche, and there is maybe an option for Empire to try and contest. The Rocket scouts it out so they know exactly what's going on. We see the pings coming out The rocket won't be enough to scare back the forces of Liquid. Mag maybe looking for an Aegis snatch right here, though from the backside, Koikva scouting him out will make it a little bit more difficult, trying to get in way of the hook shot. Doesn't matter, the contest isn't there. Aegis of the Immortal goes the way of Gyrocopter.
They did pretty good even so, though. The Tier 2's dead top now. They did a lot of damage to the Tier 2 mid, and they knew they couldn't take the 5v5 fight, so they do the next best thing, and overall Empire has been pretty playing from behind. I'd say they're doing a very good job of limiting the damage. Even though it feels like Liquid are the ones driving all the action, they're only up by 4k gold.
Yeah.
And 2.5k experience, that's really nothing. And they, in terms of towers, it's actually even.
Almost even. There's a
one
tower
advantage for Liquid. Yeah. So even better for Empire.
Yeah, and that tower is very low. Across those exchanges, Empire has really done a good job. Now a gem will come out on advanced score. They'll be looking to pick up a bit more map control and maybe try and catch that Nyx off guard and possibly secure a kill. Other big item pickups, Shadow Shaman now has a Blink Dagger, a very useful tool against the Storm Spirit. We've talked about all of the abilities and the repertoire of Liquid's draft to deal with this Storm Spirit, and now that Way 2 has some initiation power, Resolution will have to be a little bit more careful, though his Orchid is now online, still sitting in the bank, but he's got it nonetheless.
Liquid definitely have a lot of heroes that scale really well into the late game, but it is always scary against the Storm clock.
Yeah.
Even if they have equal items, even if their 5-man's a bit stronger, it's definitely Empire with the better Genki lineup. We've seen multiple times Liquid has seen Empire heroes, like they saw the Luna farming the Ancients earlier, and just pushed the tower. And the real reason was not, obviously they'd love to kill him, but they don't have a storm. Their heroes have to walk around cliffs. They can't just jump over them. So
yeah,
I mean, there are some Blink Daggers now, but with the Shadow Shaman Blink as well, maybe it should.
Fluffin' stuff in big trouble. He gets left behind. Mag connects with a hook shot. Cogs. In comes that Ancient Apparition ultimate. They find themselves basically a free kill on the Enchantress.
Nice pickoff. Fluff was pretty far out there.
He really was. He got left behind, and a good read from Empire. And Ancient Apparition actually works pretty well against Enchantress if he's able to connect with that ultimate.
Yeah, good against push strats in general. BKBs do counter him, but they only have 2. So it's good. If they get like 3 or 4, then the AA may start to feel very ineffective.
I was thinking more, it stops Nature's Attendants from
Yes, the heals as well.
Yeah.
That's the
that was that's where I was going with that one.
It's good against the heals, and it's also just generally good at stopping pushes because of the big AoE.
Right. So, smart choice. There's the Orchid up on Storm now in the inventory. He's also got an Ogre Club, undoubtedly working towards that Black King bar. Also, Luna has her BKB up as well, the first big core item after that Morbid Mask. Probably going to grab a Dominator, and then we'll see what build Luna wants to go for. We were talking about the option to go Manta, but with a Disruptor, not quite as much of a necessity, and could just go straight for a Butterfly.
So they just forced out his BKB. Was that just the Ancient Apparition ult?
I think so. Disruptor was nearby and disrupted him as well. So combination of the two.
That's a 10-second BKB.
Yeah.
Against the magic damage lineup, using up your early BKB charges can hurt you quite a bit in the late game.
Possibly nervous that Mag may be looking to hook shot in, not recognizing that support wasn't nearby.
Here comes the wraparound.
Koikva scouting it out. He is level 11, so that level 2 Vendetta is online, but it's going to expire. He will get the backstab. Impale.
Oh no, he whiffed it.
Off the mark. Nice force staff from Mag. Now Bulba. He will pop forward. Dragon Tail out onto Mag. They want to engage this. There's the AA ult. Will connect with a couple of the Liquid heroes. Mag in big trouble. There's Silent with the Eclipse, and they turn it around on the Nyx Assassin. A few other beams connecting with Fluff. Bulba. BKB still on. Always want to fly in the fray as well. Out come the wards, a call down. This is a disaster for Team Empire. They will trade a 1 for 4. Storm, the only one alive, but he is pressuring this tier 3 down bottom. Not very hard. He actually hasn't even hit the tower yet. So, oof.
That whole time I was thinking, where is Storm? And I actually didn't see him because he was right on top of the creep wave bottom, as you later pointed out. But yeah. With no Storm there, the Luna could have just ran. She could have BKB'd and TP'd out. Liquid have no way to cancel it, but they chose to fight. And that was pretty much that's what's been plaguing Liquid, is they take fights, but it's not a team decision, and then heroes get picked off and go in 1 by 1 and die, and it's Empire's turn to make those mistakes.
Yeah.
They've been pretty disciplined about fighting as a team, but this was at least lately, a rare miscommunication, and it's a costly one. Liquid, that looked like it would be an okay turnaround. If the Storm was there, I think 3 or 4 heroes maybe die for Liquid as well. But above all else, really good call down by TC. Catches 3 heroes. The Luna Eclipse not as effective in that situation with DK having a BKB, Enchantress being too tanky to kill with Eclipse. And you mentioned, I mean, she's getting pretty big, 1200 HP on Fluff. Just overall, Empire need to play more as a team.
Yeah, and Fluff is now working towards that Ag Scepter as the point booster, following up the mech as well as the Urn of Shadows. Yeah, Empire just need to be a little bit more tight. I think you're spot on. Resolution, though, notably playing a little bit more defensive than we've seen his Storm, just because of all of the tools that Liquid have to deal with him. Once he gets that BKB up, perhaps that's when Empire will really flip the switch and hit the gas. Luna will be going for a Manta now. Yasha is online, still sitting on that casual Morbid Mask. It was also a good use of the wards in that last team fight. Way2 was very patient with dropping them down, waited for the call down to connect with the slow before he threw them down. We will see an engage down here in the bottom. Always Want to Fly will be the target of choice as he gets hexed, but Resolution is here to help support. He does put the Orchid out onto Way2, and that will be enough to secure the first kill. And do get a return kill on the Shadow Demon. Always Want to Fly looking for a port out, and he'll find it. Stops as a 1-for-1, support for support.
And Silent will get his Ancient stack, it looks like. They won't be able to get there in time to stop it, don't know about it, and support for support, pretty even, but Shadow Shaman is more important to his team than Shadow Demon, as far as his items and level progression goes. All they really care about is Disruption. By the way, he has completely skipped Shadow Poison, which when you're having a really rough game and...
Oh, Fluff and Stuff in some trouble, the long-range zip, there's the Orchid as well. Oh, but that Enchantress, she is rather tanky. Luna comes in.
Resolution's got a gem. If he dies here, he loses the gem.
Mag comes in. Koikva. Oh, what a great impale. Does connect with Resolution. He hops onto the other side of the cogs. Gem goes down. Koikva picks it up. This is huge for Team Liquid. There's the call down. The defensive disruption will buy him some time. Mech comes out. Force Staff from Mag. Maybe Empire can survive this assault. Out come the cogs as well. In comes Silent from the side. He's got that Eclipse online. He secures the kill on Nyx Assassin. BKBs get popped for Bulba and TC. They try to make the retreat. Mag with a hook shot.
Boy.
Ooh, he will hook shot to his death. Maybe he can set up this kill onto Bulba. The negative Urn, is it enough? The wand charges. I think he still may fall. Oh, tries to port out as well.
Wow, I can't believe he actually died there. I thought he was going to live from the Dragon's Blood regen, as the A ult had worn off by that point, I believe, but...
A close call.
Not quite able to in the end.
So ends up being a rather even exchange. I think Liquid still kind of come out ahead, but Silent did secure some kills and also now hit level 16. So Eclipse will be more potent in the next engage.
Did they come out on top? They lost the gem, but they got it back. So that's a win for them.
Yes, Resolution.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I would say pretty even. Luna didn't die. So now has Manta. So pretty even, maybe a slight edge for Empire.
And Luna did pick up at least 2 of those kills. I think she got the one on the Enchantress and then was able to grab one as well with the Eclipse. So, dude,
that was I just want to shout out Koikva. That was a sick play, though. He blinked in, got a 2-hero impale, including clipping the Storm at absolute max range. Then he gets cogged, immediately Force Staffs through, gets the mana burn off, and goes in for the Vendetta last hit. And then has the presence of mind after all that to grab the gem. Then he ended up dying, but up until that point, that was a really nice initiation. Yeah. When it looked like Storm was just going to be able to walk away.
Yeah. TC now level 16 as well. He is working towards a Butterfly next after the BKB. Does have the Evasion as well as the Quarterstaff and just a couple hundred gold off the Eagle Song. So he is darn close to having some Evasion. Luna maybe forced into going MKB here. But we see a smoke from Empire in the Radiant jungle.
Yeah, Liquid have to stick together. If they spread out, that's where Empire is going to pick them apart. And they do seem to realize it.
Silent doesn't have mana or Eclipse and is not with them.
Oh, no.
So
oh, no. Not like this TC.
Empire need to be careful, though maybe TC is the one that needs to be a bit careful here.
He's planning to go group up with his team, but they could have isolated him. Didn't do it in the end, though.
They still have the high ground advantage. They see Liquid scouting out the Roche pit. He will engage onto Koikva, he being the Storm Spirit. Support is inbound, though. Resolution maybe zipping to his death. No, he's got the BKB. He finishes off Koikva. Now Way2 may be the target of choice.
And that was the hero carrying the gem, so they couldn't see him walk out invis, but the clock's going to go down on the backside.
And is that where this fight is going to stop?
That was pretty sexy by Resolution. Kill the gem carrier, then pop your invis rune and walk away.
Smart plays.
That game sense.
that game sense. There's the Butterfly up on Gyrocopter. They really don't have anything to deal with it. No Hex, no MKB. A great choice from TC here in this match.
This clock has been YOLO hooking into his death quite a bit this game, Mag. He's had some really impressive clock games over the past few days. This is definitely towards the bottom of that list, however.
Yeah, I mean, he has made some big hook shots in this game, but certainly a few that were questionable at best. rox coming up here in just about a minute or so, and Liquid are obviously stationed about the pit, looking to grab themselves the second rox.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who's got the better team for the Roshan engagement. I think it's pretty even. Storm is really strong near the pit.
AA ult is really good around rox as well.
Yeah. Liquid have the better like 5-man fight, but that's assuming they catch Empire in a group, and that seems like it shouldn't happen. But, you know, you never know. AA can just sit at base, and the other two heroes are pretty elusive.
Mag is in big trouble. Liquid Bulba comes in with the Shadow Blade, and they'll just right-click him down. Not much Mag can do. In comes the AA ult, but too little, too late. Clockwork down for 40 seconds. rox has now respawned. That's the ideal time to find a pick on the Empire Initiator, and they may be forced to just hand over second rox. Does Clockwork have a buyback? Is there a chance that they could contest this? No, he does not.
That's a huge death. Like you said, that's rox.
That's rox.
If he doesn't die there, they might be able to contest it, but they might still try, though. Resolution, is he going for the big plays? I don't think so.
He's thinking about it. He will kill the Centaurs.
If he zips in and dies, that might be Rax. Although he does a buyback, it's a very costly one.
Well, that's it. rox will fall. Second uncontested rox goes the way of Liquid. Gyrocopter again going to grab the Aegis. AA ult going to be a little late to the party. Will clip Bulba, but yeah, not much else going to come out of it. Empire's still hanging in there. It's only a 4,000 gold lead, 4,000 experience lead, so still not that devastating. Not
very
insurmountable.
Even game. For both teams playing really well. Liquid playing much more disciplined for the most part. We've seen Fluff die twice on his own, but that's pretty much it. Otherwise, they haven't gotten picked off, and that's hard to do against this very strong mobile ganking squad that Empire drafted.
Yeah. Now, I worry that Liquid, although they've done a great job taking out the outer towers, controlling rox, and farming about the map, breaking the high ground is a whole different ball game. And the longer that they delay and give Luna and Storm to farm up, the better it is for Empire, I think. Though Gyrocopter still has a little bit of a tilt. Hopefully they can break base with this Aegis. If they can't, I think Empire will still have a pretty good chance. And if they can grab third rox, especially.
You don't want Storm to get Hex. We already saw what happens when he BKB initiates. He can just solo kill one of the key teamfight heroes, like the Shadow Shaman or the Nyx being the two ideal targets. And if he gets Hex, he might be able to kill two during his BKB or set his team up for the second kill at least. So if they let it go too long, breaking the base gets pretty, like you said, it's a much better shot for Empire once the Aegis is gone, but I think it gets even in Empire's favor just because of how good Storm is at defending base.
Yeah, and Ancient Apparition, we've talked about it a few times now, but still a great defender in a situation like this. Liquid are starting to group up in the mid lane, moving around in the dire jungle, trying to find an opening, possibly another pick-off. Not a lot of wards on the map, really, from either team. That gem doing some work on the wards. We see one Radiant ward in the mid lane right here, and looking at dire vision, they've got a couple down by rox, and that's about it. So their jungle is not safe territory, as Liquid are roaming about in darkness.
Yeah, just a reminder, since I see some people asking in the chat, it is 1-0 Empire.
Yes.
I'm a noob. I'm a bad lobby host.
This is game
Shame
2.
on me.
Yeah.
It is 1-0 Empire. They took game 1. So winner moves on to play Sad Boys in the grand finals. Loser is eliminated.
Yes. And with that, Nyx will now grab a gem, and he's got one in the bank. There's 3 gems right now. Why did he just buy another one?
Wait, who just bought one?
Nyx. He's got one in his inventory, and now he's got one in the bank. Well, we'll hold that thought, though, as Fluff will get caught in the jungle. Orchid comes out. He does manage to mech, but won't do much to keep him alive.
Did they forget about... Was it in his inventory, or...
Maybe he just bought it and...
Was it just sitting on the ground? Maybe they forgot about it.
Yeah, he definitely just bought one, and there was one that he was carrying. So there's now 2 gems on the field, one on the inventory of Koikva, one in the inventory of Storm, and then there's also one in the Radiant base as kind of a trophy. So
and there's... I mean, obviously gem's good for dewarding this game. I guess they want a backup gem.
A backup gem.
But you could just buy it when you lose the gem. I don't think you need to buy it preemptively. I'm not sure.
Hedging their bets, perhaps.
It's not like there's a Nyx on Empire's side.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe just a small misplay.
Interesting to see them forcing into the Aegis. I don't think Empire really wants to fight. Probably just looking to draw Liquid back. But here comes Big Bad Bulba. Resolution's going to see him coming.
Yeah,
so.
he does have a double damage rune on as well. He will zip backwards to safety and port home. So perhaps just trying to knock down that tier 2 tower with the double damage rune, as it is very weak, almost in deny range. So
they forced out Bulba's dragon form, but it does last quite a while.
Yeah, so
they'll have like 30 seconds. 30 seconds to push high ground, but there's a glyph. And there are buybacks. Buyback on Storm, buyback on Luna, and buyback on Ancient Apparition.
Yeah.
And oh no, Wangscore, what are you doing? Is he baiting?
Oh, perhaps. Well, he'll bait with his life.
I guess he's just dying.
AA ult will connect with a couple.
Maybe he like alt-tabbed. He just kind of stood there. You don't want to stand outside. Liquid was clearly bearing down on the mid-racks.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to cost them Roche at least, because Liquid already have it. So
yeah.
Not the biggest loss.
Nor will it cost them racks. We see Liquid still being rather timid, pushing into the base despite it being a 5v4. Although Shadow Demon doesn't play a huge role in defending, still, they won't take the advantage. They will just back up to friendly territory. Satanic now up on the Gyrocopter to go with that Butterfly. And how's Luna doing? About 4k gold in the bank. I imagine she's pulling for a MKB, but time will tell. Oh, in the mid lane, initiation onto Silent. He's the target of choice, but in comes Resolution with the BKB on. They will secure the kill onto Silent. They got what they came for. They'll pay with their Shadow Shaman as well as their Enchantress and the Nyx Assassin. Oh boy, Gyrocopter still alive with the Aegis, but all of his support has fallen, and he will be forced back.
That Ancient Apparition ult. Sure, you've got a BKB on your DK and your Gyrocopter, but what do the other heroes do when they get hit by the ult? They just take a bunch of damage to Storm and then they die.
Yeah.
Ancient Apparition. We can see why teams ban Ancient Apparition against Empire, because once it gets late, the going gets tough, and this is without Ags. If he ever, God forbid, farms one, yeah,
it's gonna be a long time.
Remember, we saw heroes yesterday get ulted with like 90% health and then just slowly die.
Yeah, it gets ridiculous when he gets Ags. It really does. And even level 16 is a big benchmark for Ancient Apparition. The damage increases by a fair amount. And he is sitting level 13 right now already. It is doing some work in these team fights. So a good exchange for Empire. They don't burn the Aegis, which is rather unfortunate. If they had been able to just pick off TC once in that fight and then let him walk away, that would have been an even bigger victory. But
it's going to expire now anyway.
Yeah, it will expire, so not the biggest deal. And Luna, well, didn't even get Eclipse off in that fight.
Yeah, that's the power of Blink Hex. And they don't have a Dazzle this game. Got banned. They do have Shadow Demon, and if Vangscore hadn't run in and died, he might have been there when they needed him, I guess. Or wait, was that after the Luna death?
No, he died before that, and then he might have been back up, but he wasn't in a great position to get a defensive disruption.
Man, I've had such a hard time speaking English that my brain is melting from frustration. So
LD needs sleep.
I guess since Lumi's not casting with us much lately, it's like a BTS virus, and it's spread to me now. Somebody from BTS has to be bad at English. Today it's me. Thanks, Lumi. Silent might get caught here, though.
Oh, the smoke coming in. Silent. He will burn the BKB as soon as he gets suspicious, and he will turn with the Eclipse. Will the support be inbound? There's a hook shot from Mag. Cogs to split him up. The wards come down. Not the best ward positioning as they do secure a kill on the Dragon Knight. There's the long-range zip. The Orchid comes out onto the Shadow Shaman. TC has his BKB on. He'll try and pour it out. There's no interrupt. He will survive. A 2-for-0 exchange for Empire.
Not done yet.
Oh, maybe.
Resolution's chasing and has a haste.
And he does have some mana.
No backup.
Maybe now they can secure the kill on this tier 2 tower mid that is oh so weak. But well done by Silent. He popped that BKB as soon as he got suspicious that someone was nearby. Turned the Eclipse. Mag was inbound with the hook shot. Great coordination from Empire.
Yeah. And now they're going to take at least one tower. Buyback, no buyback on the Dragon Knight. No buyback on the Shadow Shaman. And okay, they still have... Yeah, Liquid still has Glyph. They can still defend base. But that's really bad. It's not just the 2 kills or the tower. It's now Empire farms. Their Ancients can ward up their woods if they need to, can go farm their woods a little bit, and just push out all the lanes. If you just switch to Radiant Vision, they see like an 1/8 of the map.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more, because all 3 lanes are pushing in.
And meanwhile, Dire Vision, they've got wards all over the place, the middle of the jungle, near the Radiant Ancients, and then on the high ground outside of the Roche Pit, who will be coming up in less than a minute. So Empire really in a good position to take the 3rd and most valuable Roche.
It's funny, Liquid have 2 gems, one on the base, one on the Nyx that you mentioned, But they don't have a hero like Storm that's really good at dewarding. They don't, or Shadow Demon once he has Poison, which he is just not getting this game.
Still not interested. I could have sworn I saw Shadow Poison come out earlier.
I think one point is good just for the vision. You get vision when you shoot it. It used to lock onto heroes and you'd maintain vision of them, but with Storm, I guess they don't really need it. But yeah, he just walks around, drops remnants everywhere, and gives you that flying vision. Very easy to deward with a gem. Whereas Liquid, despite having 2 gems, don't have anyone who gives great vision.
Yep.
So. Hence their map control very lacking.
So BKB is now up on Clockwork. He has had it for a little while. He did burn the 10-second charge in that last team fight, but still important to note. And also following the success of that team fight, Luna with a butterfly. So did not go for the MKB to try and cut through Gyrocopter. Instead, they'll give him a taste of his own medicine and get some evasion of her own, recognizing that he didn't grab an MKB. Though plenty of gold in the bank for TC, very well may be his next item. Roshan has now respawned, and I think
found Vanscore.
We may find an engage around the pit. Oh, Vanscore, you poor devil. He will survive. A Force Staff from Mag keeps him up. And now they're going to go back in. Storm to initiate. He'll catch Enchantress to start off the fight. Call down doing a lot of damage. Mag falls, as does Vanscore. Silent still in some trouble.
Resolution's just hiding. He's picked up a 2nd gem, and he doesn't want to die.
Oh,
barely makes the below ground. And on the other side of the fight, Silent might fall here. I think they're both going to die.
The evasion helping Silent a little bit, but just not enough.
He actually had Manta, but didn't get it off in that fight. Might have just cooled down at the end, but he will buy back now.
Yeah. So Roche could still be contested here. Clockwork, no buyback, nor Shadow Demon. Actually,
it's okay. Storm is balling out of control.
Yeah.
By which I mean he has
2 gems.
2 balls now. In the 2 gems.
And he actually has enough to right-click that Chief Stick. 5k gold in the bank, already has the ultimate orb.
This is the item that will quite possibly win Empire the game.
Yeah.
So far, the Zip Orchid is pretty good, but there's still a Ghost Scepter on Koikfa, BKBs on the 2 carries, and Force Staffs on a lot of other heroes.
Cutting through that evasion is a big thing, too.
Yeah, but when you're able to just Hex and Orchid, you can either disable Silence one, Hex the other, or you can just try to blow up one hero. And even though Silent died, if they get Roche, I would say it's an even trade. Aegis is way more important now than it was when that other Roche fight happened earlier.
Liquid are probably suspicious about Roche, but they just don't have great vision here. They've got a ward on the high ground. They did see them walk into the pit. Their ward coverage a little bit better than I first thought. As Koikba does blink forward, but Roche has already fallen. It does go to the Dire, and the Aegis of the Moral goes to Luna. Now the fight will begin. TC pops back out of the disruption. BKB on, but the damage is being dealt. Mag in the front lines will take a fair bit of damage here. Though Storm able to finish off the Nyx. Down goes TC. Way too. Will throw some crowd controls out on Silent, but it is a moot point. This is a disaster for Team Liquid. A 5-for-0 exchange outside the Roche pit. There's the ultra kill from Silent. Now things looking very grim for Team Liquid.
And worst of all, they lost their 3rd and final gem.
Oh.
Empire left one at base, I believe. Yes, they did. And they've got 2. Is this the nail in the coffin? 3 gems to nothing. It could be a 2-0 sweep for Empire. Leading 24-22. Liquid need like at least 2 or 3 buybacks now. Gyro has one. And that is it. So they're without the 4 other heroes for 20 seconds.
And no glyph.
And no glyph. That's Rax.
This is, at least 1 lane of Rax.
And one mistake here, Andrew, is game, because then they lose 2 lanes of Rax if anybody gets caught out and dies before they're all up to defend.
There's the buyback from the Gyrocopter. The tier 3 in the mid lane falls. Rax taking heavy damage will get cleaned up momentarily. The other supports will be popping up. Dragon Knight will be the only one stuck in the grave, but Empire are going to play it smart. They won't overcommit. They know they don't have to dive the base, and they will back up, reset, maybe look to siege the bottom.
So in that last engagement, seemed like just the Luna staying alive won them the fight. Not just from her own damage, but everybody was hitting hard. Like I noticed Ancient Apparition auto-attacking, and he was plinking away with a decent amount of right-click. So Luna late game, it's a lot of bonus damage to the team, and when you throw Chilling Touch on top of that, it really adds up. So that was pretty key, and I mean, when's the last time Resolutions died this game? It's been a while. He's up against a Blink Shadow Shaman. He's up against Nyx, but they don't really have a great solution for BKB. And the main thing is he's never getting initiated upon. He always joins the fight like a second after it starts. They keep on going on Luna. Really, the Storm's the one they want to go on, but they just can't seem to find him.
Right. And that's, again, smart choice to grab the evasion with that butterfly to allow Silent to survive a bit longer. He's now been able to pick up a Satanic as well, so you thought Luna was fat in that last fight. Well, she's that much fatter
And
now.
this is that point where you just siege with the Manta illusions. You can take over one, but there's still 3 going the other way.
Yeah, just illusions taking this tower down to about 3/4 HP, and they really no risk.
And the disruption illusions. I only said Manta, but
Yes.
yeah, both of them very annoying.
All of those Luna illusions, yeah, we see them continuing to siege here, and it's just so easy. Such a low-risk way to do damage. Luna just hits so hard now.
And now
though.
the main hero's hitting. Oh boy.
Yeah, and mid lane pushing in. Still no glyph available for Liquid. That's the end of the bottom tier 3.
Only 1 buyback on Storm. That's it. Liquid either defend now or they lose.
And Way 2 does pop forward. There's the Hex. Defensive disruption. Bulba in the front line saving the BKB, but he'll get hexed by Storm. Bulba in big trouble. He falls. A long-range hook shot from Mag does connect with Fluff. TC, meanwhile, on the front lines, trying to stand his ground. Not going to happen. Luna finishes him off. Koikvo wants to pursue Resolution. He'll die in the mix, and it's going to be a 1-for-5 exchange. That should be game.
Empire 6-0 against really stiff competition, Speed as well as Liquid in their last 6 games. Sick. Simply sick. They've been playing really well.
Fuck nasty.
Very impressive. They drafted a wide variety of heroes. I mean, if you go down the list, I would say, I'm just guessing they've played like 30-plus heroes, at least 20-plus just in this tournament, which honestly is a lot. I mean, a lot of these other teams, it's like 10 to 15. And they're doing work as a result.
Yeah.
Well done by Empire. For Liquid, you know, to be honest, as far back as MLG, they've struggled. They struggled at MLG. They did not perform well at... they didn't qualify for the D2L LAN finals. They did not perform well in... I believe it was Dream League was the one? Yeah, Dream League they did not do well at.
Yeah.
What else did they play in? EMS, I think? They qualify for that? I don't know, but every event they've gone to, they've struggled on LAN, but it was always they could fall back on at least they're performing well online. But now they're struggling online too.
Well, they did play a lot better in that second game. We have to give Liquid some credit.
Yeah.
That game was much more even than the previous match we saw earlier. The previous Liquid matches we saw earlier today. It was a very close game until the end. They took both Roshans. It almost looked like they could squeeze out a win and take us to game 3. But
They did play much better.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah, but
Empire's just on fire right now.
They really are.
Honestly. They're making a lot of good teams look pretty silly.
Yes, indeed.
As
As
well as me.
So again, that was game 2. That means Liquid is now eliminated, and we only have 2 teams left. The grand finals are all that remain here in the ESP Shock Therapy Cup. It will be Sad Boys facing off against Empire in a best of 5.
Who do you think is actually better right now? Sure, Empire's coming from the lower bracket. We're not actually sure if there is a lower bracket, if there's a winner bracket advantage, but for the sake of discussion, let's say there's not.
Yeah.
If there's no advantage, who do you favor?
They're both looking really strong, but I think I have to go with Empire. They're looking really good with their positioning, and I think you kind of hit the nail on the head that the key to this strategy was keeping the Storm out of the fight until the other heroes were already in. Keeping the Luna alive, putting the focus on, we have to kill Luna, we have to kill Luna. Meanwhile, Resolution zipping around, picking off your supports. They just seem really tight. I have some confidence in Empire.
I mean, I'm just wondering, maybe teams just need to put more emphasis on shutting Resolution down, because he got safe lane farm and was just left unchecked. Liquid were content to get stuff elsewhere, but seems like if you let Resolution have a good start, doesn't matter how many times you kill Silent or the other heroes, you're going to have a very hard time late game.
Yeah, so here you can see the bracket, guys, and Empire and Sad Boys have actually not faced off in this tournament. The way the double elimination bracket works, like that last series, Liquid and Empire had actually already played once. Liquid was, ironically, the team that knocked Empire into the losers bracket, and now Empire gets some vengeance. They're the team to knock Liquid out of the tournament. Interesting how that little story works out. But Sad Boys versus Empire, they have yet to play, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I'm going to reserve my prediction until the day of. Because it's going to be in a few days, and maybe the teams will be hot or cold by then.
Do we have a date set? We were looking at February 8th. We'll be tweeting about it, undoubtedly. The original schedule was for the match to come up, or the series to come up tomorrow.
We do. I'm just looking it up right now. It is February 8th, so this coming Saturday at 6 p.m. CET. So that is 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time, and if you are in Southeast Asia, it starts at 1 a.m. your time.
Yes, sorry, Southeast Asia, but
it's a pretty exciting match, though.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. It should be a good one. So it's been a fun tournament. Again, guys, if you want to support this cup, only the finals are left, but the ticket is available for $8. You get awards, you get a HUD, and we can take a look at it right here. The cute Storm Spirit Awards that we've gone back to. This tournament has been personally funded, so of all the tournaments to support, you know,
It's
came out of
it's a
somebody's
better
pocket.
one if you want to help see the amateur
If that
organizers
speaks to you,
grow.
yeah.
If that speaks to you. But either way, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. You can follow Zyori, of course, twitter.com/ZyoriTV.
And you can follow LD at LD Dota.
What the fuck is wrong with me today? Okay, thanks for tuning in, guys.
We'll see you on Saturday.
Jesus.